in?
No.
Oh, just me and Robyn?
Yeah.
No, hell no. And I'll tell you why. Because we already failed. I would never try plural marriage again because this
that doesn't know how to let it go.
You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies, this is Unreal Tea. Hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome everyone, Sister Wives devotees. Be prepared. What if all you believed about the Brown family was a masterfully engineered illusion? What if the true drama, the one concealed behind those tearful interviews and gentle whispers of confession, is far more sinister than anyone could have conceived? This is no longer about divorce or infidelity. This is a family teetering on the edge of psychological breakdown. In a darkly lit corner of her almost vacant Flagstaff home, Robyn Brown huddles on the ground, mascara smudged across her cheeks, holding a torn photo of her formerly flawless family. The only sound is her trembling breathing as she gazes upon the fragmented faces of Aurora and Kody, fragments barely holding together in her shaking hands. Where is Kody today? No calls, no messages, just half a suitcase full, and the hint of broken promises. And Christine, meanwhile, in her Utah home, indignant but seething with inner fire. She clutches a glowing red folder titled The Truth. Inside, it are secrets Kody never wanted anyone to know. Bank statements, emails, possibly even a timeline that doesn't sum to quite the right amount. Is Christine ready to spill the beans at last? And Janelle, well, she's no longer on the sidelines. Since Garrison's untimely death, she's channeled her suffering into a calculated crusade. No more standing down. No more acquiescent nods. She's seeking answers. Land, money, the deceptions, everything. This episode is more than a continuation, a reckoning. Stress has given way to confrontation and silence to screams. Stay with us as we expose Robyn's psychological breakdown, Kody's puzzling vanishing act, and the tempest brewing between former sister wives. It's no longer drama. It's warfare. The world of sister wives has been boiling over. The cracks that had appeared to be small misunderstandings have turned into great chasms. And in the middle of all this emotional chaos stands Robyn Brown, once the beloved, now the weakest. The lady who pleaded for harmony now stands ailing in solitude. Flagstaff has turned into a town of ghostly memories. Robyn's former busy home lies ominously silent. The camera sweeps slowly over what remains of a life that was to last forever, a child's abandoned shoe, face-down framed wedding photographs, and an ominous eviction notice blowing on the countertop. Her confessional interview is painful and unsettling. She struggles to get her words out, weeping helplessly as she admits, "I don't even recognize my family anymore." But the public isn't so sympathetic. The mask is beginning to slip, and fans are wondering if she's being genuine. Was Robyn ever really in it for the family? Or did she, consciously or unconsciously, have a hand in destroying it all? Christine, on the other hand, is a poster child for resilience. Her glow isn't only physical, it's spiritual. She's moved on, sure, but not without wounds. She stands in her new home with fiancé David, finally safe. But beneath it all is a sense of unresolved business. When questioned about Kody and Robyn, her face becomes rigid. There are things people don't know. Not yet, she teases cryptically, that crimson folder. No problem. Christine leaves through it during a filmed sit-down, legal documents, notes, scribbled by hand, and copies of financial transfers. Her mission, transparency. She no longer fears speaking the truth, no matter that it destroys what little is left of the Brown family fantasy. Then there's Janelle demure, stalwart Janelle, now a woman not afraid to bellow. Her metamorphosis since Garrison's passing is astounding. The pain has sculpted her into a new person, a fierce one. She will no longer be silenced, no longer manipulated. Kody owes us explanations. He owes us accountability. And he owes Garrison justice, she tells producers during an angry sit-down. Her anger isn't just aimed at Kody, though, but at the system they created. She's calling out all of it: the financial mess, the real estate on Coyote Pass, and the illusion of safety they were told for years. In one scene, she even confronts a stunned Kody on camera, demanding to know why he's still legally attached to her land but emotionally and physically absent from her life. Kody, for his part, is unraveling in a different way. He's defensive, erratic, and visibly strained. His interviews are peppered with contradictions. One moment, he's blaming Christine for dividing the family. The next he's claiming he tried to save it. He doesn't know where his kids live. He forgets time. And when asked about his relationship with Robyn, he simply shakes his head and says, "I'm tired." But tired of what? Of lying. Of juggling too many facades. Of being held accountable. Robyn, watching all of this unfold, spirals further. She's cried on camera in the dark, holding onto Kody's shirt, muttering prayers for her shattered family. "I didn't sign up for this," she chants as a mantra. But no longer are audiences falling for the Innocence Act. Each tear is staged. Each sigh an act. And then there is the reconciliation. In a stunning turn of events, the producers stage a reunion. Christine, Janelle, Robyn, and Meri together in the same room for the first time in more than a year. The air is thick with tension. Christine opens the red folder. She pushes it down the table to Robyn. "These are the things you said didn't exist," she tells her. Robyn retreats, but she's trapped. Janelle supports Christine, citing contradictions in Kody's stories. Meri keeps quiet for once, but her expression speaks volumes. She's got the truth, she just isn't yet willing to say it. What ensues is unadulterated emotional combat. Temperatures rise. Accusations abound. Tears are shed. But there's something more sinister as well: cold rationality. These women aren't merely upset, they're finished, and Kody, he doesn't appear. Not for the sit-down. Not for his children. Not for the showdown. His silence is louder than anything he might have uttered. It's a deafening quiet that reaffirms what many suspected. Kody Brown has checked out emotionally. The episode ends with Robyn once more isolated, looking out a window as snowflakes start falling. Her reflection is ethereal. Her voiceover is ominous. Sometimes, love isn't enough. Sometimes, truth is too heavy to carry. The fans, though, they're not going quietly. Reddit threads go nuclear. TikTok is filled with theories. Was Robyn ever actually blindsided? Did Christine find out anything dynamite in those records? Is Janelle poised to take legal action? And where is Kody in hiding? Whatever is going to come next, one thing is certain. The Sister Wives drama is no longer concerned with polygamy or spiritual marriages. It's about betrayal, silence, and the cost of hiding behind the term family. Tune in. Sister Wives Season 19 is more than a show, it's an unfiltered, raw window into the downfall of an idolized polygamous family. From Robyn Brown's meltdown, to Kody Brown's mysterious vanishing act, to Christine Brown's secret folder, and to Janelle Brown's unfettered rage, this episode delivers suspense, tragedy, and jaw-dropping surprises. If you're hungry for the truth behind the scenes, sign up now and click the bell icon, because it isn't done. We're digging deeper into money secrets, relationship meltdowns, and the explosive aftermath of years of bottled resentment. Leave your comments behind. Do you think Christine's folder will be a game changer? Is Robyn playing victim yet again, or is she actually unraveling? And where on earth is Kody Brown hiding out? The last threads unravel. The silence within the home was deafening. Robyn was standing stock still, her gaze fixed on the vacant hall where Kody had just stormed away. Her breaths came in harsh heaves as Aurora perched quietly on the couch's edge, looking down at her shivering hands. This was no ordinary fight. This was the breakdown. Christine stood beside her car outside, eyes closed, struggling to settle the tempest within. She'd been through too much, seen too much, and she knew Robyn was lying. The tears, the explosive outbursts, the gaslighting, it all tracked the same behavior that she'd witnessed for years. But this time, Christine wasn't walking away quietly. She was staying. Janelle paced in her living room, phone clutched in her hand, waiting for Savannah to call back. Her daughter had been unusually quiet since the last family dinner, withdrawn. And that nagging feeling in Janelle's gut wasn't going away. She could feel it. Something bigger was coming. Something that would shift everything they thought they understood about Kody and his perfect patriarch act. As the sun began to set, a soft knock echoed through the quiet of Meri's cabin. She slowly opened the door and, there he was. Leon, holding a box in his arms. "Hey Mom," they said, their voice heavy with emotion. I found these letters." Meri took the box from him with trembling hands, her breathing caught in her throat. Letters, dozens of them, some of them written by her. Some of them written by Kody, and others strangers. She sat down cautiously, opening one. It had been written some years ago, when Sister Wives was still in its initial seasons. Before the public eye had highlighted their carefully constructed facade, and in that moment, Meri understood something. Kody had been making plans to leave much earlier than any of them had realized. In Flagstaff, Robyn was alone. Kody was not back. The cameras captured her pacing from one room to another, dressed in the same attire she had worn during the fight. Her voice was raspy, muttering to herself, "This isn't who we are, we're a family." But the reality could not be denied. Christine had started a new podcast the following morning, The Unseen Wife. She revealed in her first episode how the production team manipulated scenes to make Robyn out to be the victim and the rest of them as dramatic. "We weren't bitter," she added. "We were broken. There's a difference." And that shattered the internet. The fans started posting side-by-side clips, unedited footages versus aired episodes, piled inconsistencies, edits exposed favoritism. Robyn's breakdowns were exaggerated, Christine's tears were downplayed, and Kody, he always had the last word. But no longer. Janelle finally found the nerve to speak on Instagram Live. She trembled at first, but she caught herself. "I didn't leave him because I lost my love for him," she told viewers. "I left him because I gained a love for myself." Thousands of people watched in real time as she exposed the gaslighting, financial manipulation, and staged family harmony. In a hotel suite in Las Vegas, Kody sat with his lawyer, going over damage control. "They're turning this into a crusade," he muttered. The lawyer simply nodded. "You turned them into martyrs." Meanwhile, Robyn's tears weren't winning fans anymore. A leaked voicemail surfaced, Robyn telling a producer, "If Christine says anything about what really happened in 2018, I'll sue." Christine played the voicemail on her second podcast episode. The internet blew up. Meri was the last to talk, and when she did, it wasn't an interview, it was a reckoning. She invited Leon, Christine, Janelle, and even T to a table. Cameras rolled. This was the actual tell-all, not produced, not edited. Raw. Meri started. "I stayed the longest. I believed the hardest. I forgave the most. But I was also deceived the deepest." Leon nodded. "You didn't let us down, Mom, you believed in love." In that instant, fans around the world felt it thus shift. This wasn't television any longer. This was freedom. The reckoning begins the morning after. The world awoke changed. Hashtag Sister Wives trended worldwide as headlines blared betrayal, manipulation, and long simmering secrets finally revealed. Christine's podcast episode had cracked the dam, but Meri's impromptu, raw tell-all had shattered it, and outpoured years of pain, control, favoritism, and silent suffering. Christine sat in her podcast studio, surrounded by candles and letters from fans. Her inbox overflowed with messages from women in similar situations, those who had once watched her silently suffer, and now drew strength from her courage. "This isn't about revenge," she told us in episode 3. "This is about taking back our story." Meanwhile, Janelle had split from her Arizona apartment. With the help of her children, she returned to Utah. Her new home was tiny but hers. Savannah, once shy and uncertain, now glowed in her new school. She said to a friend, "Mom's smile is genuine now. That's all I ever wanted." Robyn was spiraling out of control in Flagstaff. Her formerly sympathetic persona had become a lightning rod. For anger, a fan-created subreddit revealed financial disparities. Robyn's online store received investments from the family trust fund yet. Christine was rebuffed when she asked for cash to repair her vehicle. Previously unseen video footage surfaced of Robyn avoiding tough topics or deflecting responsibility. The public's opinion had switched. Isolated Kody convened an emergency meeting with producers for TLC. "Let's rewrite this," he snapped. "We can't let them dictate the narrative." But even producers had lost faith. There had never been higher ratings, but so had audiences. A veteran producer released an email in which Kody had rejected scenes that featured Robyn poorly substituting those with additional footage of Meri crying. And Meri, she had begun writing. Her book, Beyond the Porch Light, was already leading pre-orders. During a read-aloud chapter on a live stream, she exposed an episode never broadcast how Kody once informed her, "You were the practice wife. I got it right with Robyn." The stunned silence following that reading was so deafening that even trolls could say nothing. Leon, now serving LGBTQ+ youth, shared their truth on TikTok. "We were instructed to smile for the cameras. But in the background, we were disintegrating." One of their videos reached 10 million views within a week. Fans flooded in with sympathy. The Brown children got to be something more than side characters for the first time. They got to be survivors. T and Tony did a reaction video on YouTube. They watched Christine's podcast with tissues. "You don't get it," T said, wiping away a tear. "That voice that you're hearing. That is not just my mom. That is every woman who ever stayed too long. But hardest of all came from Logan. The oldest Brown child, previously quiet and reserved, posted one statement on Instagram. Truth does not tear families apart. Lies do. Kody attempted to resist back. He posted a shaky Instagram video, furiously defending Robyn and accusing the family of being attacked by bitterness and edited narratives. Comments were vicious. Gaslighting, 101. One posted. Another wrote, "We see you now." Behind the scenes, Robyn pleaded with him to desist. "You're making it worse." But he didn't pay her any mind. He never had. A fan-made documentary called The Wives' War debuted on YouTube. It spliced together clips, podcasts, leaked voicemails, and heart-wrenching testimonials. It was viewed more than 5 million times in only 48 hours. The story had totally flipped. It was no longer a show about faith and unity, but one of power, control, and survival. At the end of July, TLC issued a statement. "We are re-evaluating future projects with the Brown family." There were rumors that Christine had been invited to have her own series. Janelle and Meri, too. But Robyn and Kody, silence. The final scene of Meri's Real Tell-All showed her hugging Christine and Janelle. No script, no direction. Just women, finally free. And for fans who had watched the show from the beginning hoping, hurting, cheering, this was the ending they didn't expect, but desperately needed. Kody's collapse and Robyn's reckoning, the fallout was far from over. As the month of August commenced, all that was left of Brown family's carefully constructed public persona fell apart under the pressure of years of silence, deception, and manipulation. #Sister Wives reckoning remained a social media topic, and fans were no longer mere spectators. They had become detectives, critics, and defenders of truth. Kody Brown, the suave patriarch, was now a topic for think pieces and a tell-all. Independent reporters and former Mormons bloggers started unpacking years of video. They identified patterns: gaslighting, spiritual manipulation, and emotional abandonment. Each handshake, each tearful admission, and every group photo came under a cold, new scrutiny. His companies also paid a price. A real estate project associated with his name had investors backing off after screenshots of irate DMs he supposedly sent to fans were made public. In them, he branded Christine a disloyal saboteur and Meri a self-pitying liability. These were not only painful, they were condemnatory. Robyn, on the other hand, became withdrawn. Previously placed on a pedestal as the serene, spiritual wife, she now braced for a tsunami of criticism. Her shop was inundated with one-star reviews. Online detectives discovered that most of her wares were dropshipped and inflated in price. Old friends emerged anonymously, calling her strategic, not spiritual, and saying she knew precisely how to stand in front of the cameras. Within her Flagstaff house, Robyn allegedly shut down cameras. TLC staff members confided to tabloids that she would only be interviewed if she were given final cut rights, a requirement that is impossible under network deals. She was spinning, insiders claimed, not from guilt, but because she'd lost control of the story. Christine, on the other hand, thrived. Her podcast, Unscripted, dominated Apple and Spotify charts. Women phoned in from across the globe, recounting their own tales of fleeing emotional prisons. "You gave me the strength to leave," one woman from Brazil wept. Christine didn't consider herself a hero. "I just stopped lying to myself," she said, "and that freed me." Janelle started filming a YouTube series titled Roots Reclaimed. It followed her as she gardened, cooked from scratch, and built a tiny home with her sons. She spoke openly about grief, losing her dream of family unity, but gaining her dignity. "I didn't fail," she said. "I just woke up." Meri's memoir hit the shelves officially. It launched at number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list. Talking to people, she explained, "I kept thinking, if I just stayed, he'd see me, but he never did, and I finally decided to stop waiting." But the ultimate surprise happened mid-August when a private video was leaked. It featured Kody yelling off camera when a production break was taken, profanity shouting at crew members, and threatening to sue TLC. He accused the network of conspiring with the women to ruin him. The leak was from a member of the editing team themselves, somebody fed up being a part of the cover-up. Suddenly, TLC was in crisis mode. A spin-off featuring Christine was given the go-ahead, and plans for a swan song season with Kody and Robyn were put on the back burner. Advertisers stealthily pulled out of contracts with the couple. Even Robyn's previous stepchildren tweeted cryptically, "Justice takes time." But it's coming. Aspen, Peden, Gwendolyn, and Gabriel all gave their own subtle acknowledgements online, selfies of their smiling moms, throwback photos of the siblings together, and captions such as "Peace looks good on her." One of the most poignant moments was when Jezebel Brown appeared on Unscripted. She wept, telling how Kody missed her scoliosis surgery. "I felt like I did something wrong," she said. Christine clutched her hand and whispered, "You never did." "He did." Robyn tried one final time to save their reputation. She issued a statement through a PR agency, referencing mental health challenges and asking for privacy. But it didn't work. Fans labeled it performative. "You didn't care about mental health when Christine begged for emotional support," a tweet read. Then there was the interview that exploded the last remaining illusions. Suki, the veteran host of Tell All, interviewed Leon for a sit-down that went viral. They discussed the stifling of identity, the silence of dissent, and the weaponizing of faith in the Brown family. "I wasn't permitted to simply be myself," Leon explained. "I had to become what made him comfortable, and that is not love." Viewers cried. People commented, "I see my family here. Thanks for being courageous. You just rescued someone." And in the midst of the chaos, one small post by Kody was seen on a now private Facebook profile. It simply said, "They turned on me." But the replies beneath were harsh reminders. "No, you drove them away." Truth does reign. This family's drama is far from over, so smash like if you're #Team Wives. Subscribe for the next explosive update, and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Behind TLC Sister Wives out.